Well, hello everyone. It is Tuesday. We have made it to another terrific Tuesday. I pray everybody's day has been spectacular. I pray that you guys are winding down and on your way back home after a hard day's work. Um, Today I only have a small amount of time because I got to get up out of here. I got to go to church this evening. So I'm very much late. Had a lot going on today, doing a lot of computer work and stuff. So I am here to just bring forth another message for this week. I thank you guys for rocking with Marriage Our Way. I thank you for all the views from last week. That means you guys are watching. But I do want to say, share with your friends. Make sure if you haven't subscribed and hit the button, that just helps me. That just helps my ratings and things like that because I want to make sure that I'm doing this thing to help other people. You know, it's of course it helps me, but the goal was to get on here and make sure that I'm helping people in their marriages because a lot of us are going through in a lot of different ways. And so when we say marriage our way, that basically means however you do it, whatever works for you. Have you been married for a whole lot of years and you haven't run into any major problems? That's marriage the way you do it. It works for you. The way I do my marriage may not work for the next person. I notice how me and Fred, how we roll, may not be how the next couple roll and how the next couple roll and whatever. But whatever works for you is what's important. So that's what we mean when we say marriage our way. We just do it whatever way it works for us. Okay? So again, thank you guys for rocking with me. I do need more subscribers. Please like and subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell. And I just want to know you guys are out there listening. And I did see that last week. I got a lot of views last week and I appreciate that so much. But my subscribers haven't moved in a minute. So I need that to move. So you guys, please share with your friends, share with, single people that want to be married, that might need to know these tools before they jump into a marriage. Because a lot of times we just jump into things. Have you ever watched 90 Day Fiance? You see how quickly they jump into things, and we all know that that's a scheme. These are people out of jail. When you're in jail and you're on the phone, you can say anything that you want to say to a person, and somebody that's low self-esteem, they're gonna believe what you say, and they're gonna empty out their accounts and just do all kind of ignorant things. So we don't want to be like that. We want to, when we enter into a marriage, this thing is supposed to be forever. You don't do things like this. It's not a game. You don't do things like this to play around per se. You don't do this type of thing to just play. Marriage is serious. It's a union before God. A lot of us, you know, we don't go before God when we do it, but hey, it's whatever works for you. So these tools are here to help you along in your marriage. If you ever run into these bumps, you might have heard me talk about it. Oh, well, she said, no, you don't necessarily want to do it like I say, do it. But I'm trying to give out good sound advice to let you guys know the red flags, the things that might go on when you're married and things like that. So this is what it's here for. Okay. So the topic today is, what did we learn from our marriage last year? What did we learn last year? And what are we doing different this year? Because whatever we did last year, every year that you make it through in your marriage, that's why we have anniversaries and things like that. Those are celebrated milestones. You made it into another year. That's a blessing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a blessing to make it from one year to the next these days. You don't know what people are going through out here. So this is why we have anniversaries, because it's a major celebration We're celebrating the fact that we made it another year, just like birthdays. You celebrating another milestone, another 365. It's a blessing. So what we did last year, and it might have been some things that we did wrong last year. We don't want to bring that into 2024. We left that in 2023. Okay. So what did we learn from our marriage last year? And what are we doing different this year? So what's the goal? Because we're last year we were clean about to tear up the club. When I say tear up the club, that's my famous word. We were clean about to tear up the club last year in this marriage. Like we were about to kill each other last year. So of course that was last year, but we made it into this year. So we left all that back in 2023. So we're not carrying it over the threshold into 2024. So whatever that was that went on last year, what did you learn from it? Did you learn that I don't no longer want to be petty in 2024? I want to leave pettiness in 2023. Pettiness almost ruined my relationship. Pettiness almost ruined my relationship. You know how when you talk to each other as a couple, and sometimes a little joke goes too far? Sometimes you can just be joking. But sometimes self esteem is an issue with a lot of people. And so what you thought was funny wasn't necessarily funny to me. So I got a little bit upset when you said that to me. I don't like that you said that. That was I know you thought that was funny, but it wasn't. And now a whole argument is happening because you were being petty about some little situation that happened when we were out and about or whatever, and you called yourself being funny. See, again, I said this in a couple of lives before. My husband always says when he's talking to me and he's telling me about myself, I love to bring up, but you. But how you gonna tell me when you? And he'll say, Lexi, I'm talking about you. You had your opportunity to tell me about me when that happened. But now you want to bring up something that I knew nothing about because now I'm telling you about yourself. So, in all fairness, I'm talking about you right now, and you gotta hear me. And next time when those things happen, use that opportunity when it happens. Don't be petty because you feel like I'm getting on you and you don't like it. And so therefore you ready to throw it back on me. He loves to say, I love to throw things back on him. And so that might be my flaw because sometimes it's more of, I think this is what it is. We just don't like it. And then I've seen you do that, sir. And so I don't like that you're trying to tell me how to do things. Y'all, my light went off. It just went off. I think it just overheated. Oh, it's overheated. Overheated. So sometimes we just don't like when you tell us certain things. That's not funny. So that's one thing that we can lead back into 2023. Some people are going through this thing. Last year I caught you cheating. And it was a whole ordeal. And we went through hell and back. But we made it out of it and we decided to stay. We decided to stay with each other. So whatever, when I said that I decided to stay with you, know this. ladies and gentlemen, when things like that happen and you decide to stay, it was messy, but you decide to stay. When you decide to stay, that means that you're moving forward. You're not staying in that moment. Does that make sense? You're not staying there. Okay? So you might feel a certain way or what have you. And if another situation comes up where you're feeling challenged, I don't want you bringing back up what happened in 2023. You got to let that go because you decided to stay. So, again, last year I caught you cheating on me and I decided to stay. I left all of that mess and baggage in 2023. I'm not bringing it into 2024. I learned from that in 2023. So 2024 is a new year. So we're moving forward. Don't bring the mess into a new year because that means you're in the same spot that you were when it all happened. But you made it out of it, but yet you're still there mentally. No, sis, no, bro. Leave that in 2023. Are we talking about finances this year? Because last year we were just doing whatever we wanted to do. Spending like crazy. It was whatever. It, it was whatever. But this year, we're trying to get a hold of our finances a little bit better. So I left the craziness of spending, overspending and things like that. I left that in 2023. So 2024, we're sitting down and we're talking about finances. That is Fred and Alexia. We are working on finances this year because last year and maybe the years prior, we kind of like, we were kind of doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Doing projects, doing this, doing that, and the bank might not have said that, but God saw us through. So we left that recklessness in 2023. 2024, we're working on a better us. We're working on, okay, hey, you're handling this. Okay, you're handling that. Everybody needs to look at this every other day, every day. That's something new that we're doing in 2024 because we left the recklessness of spending in 2023. We're no longer showing out on each other, ladies and gentlemen, out and about in public anymore. That died in 2023. So 2024, new us, new you. We're not gonna, when we get out in public, we out acting all kind of ways, ignorant and things like this and that. We're walking out being the model couple that people see us as because you never know who's watching. We never know who's watching. But when I tell you it's a blessing when people come up to us and tell us, oh my God, you guys, I love the way you do things. I love how you hang out with each other. I love everything about you guys. You guys are entertaining. You guys love is contagious. I just love the way you do things. But people, I might not have known that person. Sometimes we walk away and we're like, God, who's that? They might saw us out in public and they follow us for whatever reason. We don't even know them. But what a blessing it was that she stopped us and said, I admire you. Thank you so much for what you do. Keep on doing what you're doing. And you guys don't know what that do for us because it makes us push even more to be better people, to love harder, to be a role model ambassadors in this marriage thing, because it's, you know, in life or coming up in our early days when we were married young, we didn't have ambassadors. We didn't have people we could look up to. We might have saw some relationships and we were so busy trying to make it, we didn't even take time to even see these people and what they did in their marriage. We were tearing up the club, we were going to counseling, we were doing all kind of things, back then. So this this platform is to be ambassadors for people who are lost in their marriage, people that don't quite know, people that don't have hope. We're trying to give you hope. Marriage is great. It's hard, it's not easy, but all in all, it's good, it's great, it's wonderful. It's a great thing to have, and to know that you have somebody that cares about your well being. Somebody cares about your well being so much that you're impressed. And you're like, I don't know how I deserve this. This is wonderful. Every day, the things that my husband, the acts of kindness that my husband do on a daily, it's so repetitive and so him and so easy for him that he don't even look at it as an act of service. He don't even look at it as I'm impressing my wife. He's just so used to doing things like that. Like he makes sure, like he knows that sometimes I'm in his house and I'm doing what I do and I haven't even thought to eat. Oh, but he always thinks to eat. And if he eats, he's going to ask you, do I need to bring you something while I'm out? Because he knows I'm in his house and I might be at this doing whatever I'm doing. But he knows he hadn't seen much movement, cameras and things like that. Hey, did you eat today? Hey, I'm out here about to get me something. What you want me to bring you something? Because he would just never come home with food and not ask me. And I love that about him. When we go out and we might have to stop and run into the store, I don't have to stop. When we stop and run into a store, whatever, I don't have to jump out of the car. He asks me what I want, go in there and get it, and make sure I don't have to get up out of the car. Hey, you stay in the car. I don't even want to have to tear off the car. Tell me what you want. Those acts of kindness, little small things, go a long way in a marriage. When you have everything that you need, the little things mean the most, right? In 2024, we're going to sit down periodically and show our love and affection for each other. Because we don't want to be robotic. We don't want life to just pass us by. We got this going on. We got the kids. I ain't got time. Child, I'm tired. When I get home, I ain't got time to be dealing with him. I'm going home, take my bath, I'm going to sleep. No. Periodically. I'm not saying every day, all day, whatever. Periodically. 2, 1, 3 times a week, we get together and we just hug each other and we let each other know, I really appreciate you, husband. I really appreciate all that you do, all of your sacrifices, everything that you do to make this family better. I want you to know I see you and I appreciate you so, so very much. Do you know what that does for your mate? Oh my God. That's all a person want to hear sometimes, because sometimes, like I've said before, with these husbands are trying to provide, excuse me, the ones that are trying to provide, because I do know that there are some out here that's sponsors, but these husbands that are husbanding and are big protectors and big providers and things like that, they have a lot of weight on them. They have a lot of weight on them. And sometimes they are going and going and going, and they're making sure that everybody's taken care of, but nobody has asked that man, was he okay? Not one time has anybody said, husband, you doing okay? You look a little weak today. You all right? I need to get something for you. Nobody sat down and said, or nobody's even looked his way to see if he's okay. Nobody's looked his way. He can be almost dizzy. He can be seeing stars. He can have so much weight on him and feel like it's bricks on top of his head. But nobody stopped and said, is there something I can do for you? Because, these days, women are just expecting for you to do for them. And that's this new age and this new thing. Hey, honey, I'm a trophy. Provide for me. This is why I look the way that I do. This is why I'm snatched. This is why I went and got all this stuff done. So, because if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. This is this new age woman that these men have to deal with. And this is the reason why a lot of people are not in relationships, because these women are pulling on these men so much. It's a lot. So, every once in a while, sit that man down and tell him and just hug him and just caress him and rub his head, and rub his feet, rub his back, just caress him. Or if your woman is like that and she's going, sometimes she might need a hug and she might need to be told that you appreciate her as well. Just let them know that you appreciate them periodically. I'm not saying every day. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying periodically. Once, twice a week. Babe, I really do appreciate you. And I thank you so much for all of your sacrifices. And you just breaking yourself down to the bone to make sure this family is taken care of. These lights on, these bills are paid, cars are maintenance, got the maintenance on it, and food in the refrigerator, clothes on our back. Thank you. As well as you give thanks to the Most High. Because without him, none of this is possible, right? And then if he don't bring it down to the head, that ain't possible. So periodically, sit them down, let them know affectionately, however you take that, however you want to take that. I appreciate you and I thank you so much for everything that you do for me. In 2024, we're no longer hiding things from each other. We are going to talk with each other about everything, husbands and wives. We're going to talk to each other and we're going to run things by each other. We're not going to be on that 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020 thing of, I don't know how he going to react to that. So I don't really want to say nothing to him about that. He's going to take that too well. Listen, one way or the other, he's going to find out. So your best bet is to run it across him or her. Whatever type of big purchase you're trying to do and you're trying to hide it, if you're out here buying stuff and you're trying to hide it, leave that 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020. Just run it past them. If these are big purchases, I'm talking about big purchases that might touch the bank account a little bit. We want to be able to run this thing by each other because we're helpmates, we're husband and we're wives. And when we do big things, we want to bring it to our husband or our wives. We don't want to we don't want to do that. We're real husband and wife over here. So we want to make sure we're running things past each other because it makes for a good marriage. That works for us. We're going to pray with each other before we leave in the morning. That's a big one for me and Fred. I feel like it has changed our lives. I think we started that. I don't know if we started it at the top of 2024 or if we started it at the end of 2023. But when I tell you, I think it was the end of 2023, around about November sometime, or maybe October. I don't know. Sometime around the end of 2023, we developed that we need to do more praying when we leave the house in the morning, because we notice that people are they're not coming back home to their loved ones. Things are happening out in the street because we're not covering ourselves before we leave. We noticed a big change in our lives when we started praying with each other. We don't leave the house anymore without praying with each other. And I remember asking my husband that, and asking him that. You know, just I just felt like we need to cover ourselves a little bit more. And I know that I'm the last one to wake up. He wakes up with the chickens. So therefore, I I put a task in his another task on him, because we already know that Fred has 100 things that he needs to do before he leaves the house. So, husband, because you are the first one to leave in the morning, and I know I'm always in a complete slump when you leave, can you please come over to me so we can pray every morning? And when I told that man that, now it's a thing. It is, if we forget, I remember, I think it was Sunday, Mother's Day, because we were so busy running. Usually he's the one to come over to me and we pray or whatever, but sometimes we leave the house in a rush. So if we leave the house in a rush together, we forget to pray. So we found ourselves out there at the picnic when the lady she was doing the we took the opportunity. We didn't pray this morning. Oh my God, Fred, we didn't pray this morning. It's embedded in our head. It's a routine for us every day. So while the lady was doing the meditation, we took the time to hold hands, head to head, and pray with each other for the day. Because we notice our lives are different now. We're covered. We're covering everybody that's attached to us when we pray. So that's a big task. We're not only praying over our lives, and we're praying over everything that we're going through and everything that we want and everything we need. We're praying for our family. We're praying for our friends. We're praying for our my mother-in-law. We're praying for our aunts. We're praying for our children. So this is a big task. And everybody's lives depends on it, because the oil that flows from us goes over to everybody that's attached to us. So I apologize if you guys hear music. The baby boy is home and he doesn't understand. I think he thinks he's in school. He doesn't understand how loud music is. So if you hear music playing or something booming in the background, I apologize. It's these extra people that's in my house. That's him. But yes, praying and covering each other, we brought that into 2024. That was a good thing. Some things you can bring. If it's positive, you can bring it over to the next year. If you learn from it and it works, bring it over with you to every year moving forward. It's a thing moving forward. But praying with each other is a must to Fred and Alexia Sands, and it has blessed us so. So it works. It has changed our lives, and we're so grateful for it. Um, all of this threatening each other. We're married couples, and I hear this goes back into one of the other things, showing out on each other in public. This whole thing of this disrespectful threatening each other as husband and wives. Oh, but if you don't do it, somebody else will. So you better get yourself together, and you're doing this out in public and people are watching you. Yeah. Let's leave that over in 2023, because we can't move forward acting a monkey like that on each other. Let's not. Threatening, disrespect, it spirals out of control. And that little thing will turn into a big thing, and you won't even make it into 2025 if you don't leave that in the past. Learn how to talk to each other respectfully, because if you chose to be with each other, you're choosing to do the right thing. I hope. We're trying to be with each other, and we're trying to grow spiritually better. being better people, being better in our marriage. We are seriously trying to work on being better people in our marriage towards each other and everything. So the disrespect and the threatening, don't ever threaten each other, because that ain't the look. That ain't what you want. You know better. Period, point blank. You know better. Don't threaten each other. That's uncalled for, and it's not right. And we're not doing that. We're better people than that. You know better. That's just all it is too. You know better. So don't do it. And as a matter of fact, when you do that kind of stuff, you're gonna F around and find out. Oh, if you don't do it, somebody else will. She'll never leave me. She ain't left me before when I did all this stuff on her before. So she ain't gonna leave me now. I don't know why you trying to talk to her, trying to talk her out of being with me. She'll never leave me. F around and find out. You're gonna find out one way or the other. And it's another thing called karma. And it's gonna spin the block. I always tell y'all how to spin the block. And it's gonna come and it's gonna get you. And we don't know how it's gonna get you. That's the thing. We don't know what way it's gonna come get you. But it's gonna get you. If you're mistreating that woman, or if you're mistreating that man, if you're just being evil, deceitful, and petty and ignorant, oh, it's gonna get you. We don't know how. You don't know how, but it's gonna get you. Don't sit around and be evil, threatening people. Oh, she ain't gonna never leave me. I don't care what I do on her. She always ride with me. She always believe my bull crap. So she gonna always stay with me. So you might as well stop trying to talk her out of being with me, because I don't did everything under the sun in this lady. She's still here. So that way I know she ain't never leaving me. One day she gonna be strong enough to indeed leave you. And you're gonna be sick as a dog. And your tricks are no longer gonna work. So just do the right thing, y'all. We gotta be better people. And that we will. Because 2024 is doing a new thing in our marriages. I'm seeing some people putting up with some stuff. You sit there and you complain, and next thing you know, you still with them. I would say to you, stop putting your business out there. If you know good and hell well that you're gonna stay with them, just don't even tell nobody. Because I've said it so many times. You sit there and you tell your business to people that don't care, people that are waiting on you to fail. You sit there and you tell your business to people are going to sit there and they're going to look at you crazy when they're like, okay, well, you said he did this. I mean, this is the unthinkable, but yet you still with him. Now I'm starting to look at you crazy. So keep your business in your household, please. Okay? Keep your business in your household. Talk to God. Don't talk to these people out here about your husband doing all this unforsaken God, this unforsaken stuff, God awful stuff to you, and yet you still with them. Y'all out showing up at the parties, y'all out showing up in the streets together, posting things on Facebook like y'all so in love. Listen, keep your business to yourself, because it's looking real crazy. All right? That's all I have for today, and I hope those are tips to help you guys along the way in your marriage. Leave the unnecessariness in the prior years and the years before. Move forward into 2024 on a new things popping, new things in our marriage that is going to help us grow spiritually and mentally with each other, to be able to deal so we can make it for so many more years. All right? Love you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Marriage Our Way. Hit the button, subscribe, hit the bell. Tell your friends, share with your friends. And I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you call somebody. I thank everybody that checked on me on Mother's Day. It did so much for me. I sat out at that picnic. I was listening to all the music. I was so busy on that day. that I didn't have a chance to cry. Only time I cried was when I saw when they said, who's out here with your mothers? And I saw people dancing with their mothers. And I thought, no, I wasn't jealous, but I just thought it was so beautiful, and it just made me shed a couple of tears. And it was happy tears though, because I love that people are hanging with their mothers and are just loving on them. That's very important. You know, some people out here don't have good relationships with their moms. And for a person that lost theirs, that's very important to me. I want to see everybody love on their mom, because you only get one and you don't know the day or the hour. So make sure that you're loving on your mom and you are doing your best to make sure that she is good, especially on those days and every other day moving forward. Okay? So check on somebody, make sure they're good. If you haven't heard from them, they've been quiet, just check on them. And like I say, you never know what that makes. It might change up something that person might have been thinking about doing crazy to themselves. Okay, just check on them. It doesn't cost anything to check on anybody. Just show them that I got love for you, and I just want to make sure you're okay. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you back here. Will I see you guys back here Tuesday? I will see you guys back here Tuesday. I will be leaving out of town soon next week, but Tuesday I will be back here. All right, I will be able to get my Tuesday in before I leave. All right, so I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed week. Prosperity and abundance to you guys. Good health and good wealth to you. Enjoy. Love you. Bye.